This week's podcast is based on Shorties number 29, that awkward moment where we'll talk about Japanese mannerisms and politeness.
So what has been going on in Japan today?
Well, I guess everyone knows that Nintendo has been going very hard lately with their new games and everything.
Right.
You know
New
what's
console release means they need to provide new games fast.
Yeah, and the good news I heard about is in Universal Japan, they're actually planning to build a theme park, a Mario theme park. And the good thing about Universal Japan, right, is they always have this one segment dedicated for their Japanese games or characters or anime. So it's something that I'm really looking forward to.
So they are building a new one now?
Yeah, they're building a new one. Actually, it's
just starting construction or...
Yeah, it's gonna take 3 years for them to build because 2020 Japan, they're trying to get more tourists going to Japan because of Olympics.
Yeah, and that's the thing about Nintendo characters. They're family friendly and it's well known. It's well known to even people who are not gamers because it's kind of
that's in the
part
pop
of their
culture.
it's pop culture already,
I guess every one of us have played Mario when we were younger.
And here's the sad part, it's like I guess everyone here played Nintendo Mario, and everyone who had played are probably parents now.
And these parents, they never got through after level 3.
So what you're saying is that this theme park is a theme park, is it?
Yeah, it's a theme park.
It has this roller coaster rides, but are they thematic?
Yeah, they're thematic. So you're gonna see the very same setting of what you see in the game. You probably get to throw shells, like how Mario get to throw those little goons shells.
So do we get like Bowser's at the end of the
Bowser and Peach? I guess so. I'm pretty sure, and that's what I'm looking forward to.
But have you been to any theme parks that caught your eye? Because it seems like the theme parks that I've been to so far, they have been like just your regular theme park. I know they've done some like Transformers and stuff like that, but not in Japan, but just in other parts in the world.
Yeah.
So have you been to like gimmicky kind of theme parks? Is that how I should say?
Well, it is gimmicky. I mean, every theme park must have their gimmicks to attract people.
Yeah.
But yeah, to answer your question, I'm not really a theme park guy. I will just go to enjoy the adrenaline rush, like roller coasters and all that. Themes, not so much for me.
Right, I thought so that at first. I think I'm the opposite of you. I'm not so much of an adrenaline junkie because I'm afraid of height. So roller coaster is quite my fear. But I went to Disneyland a couple of years back, and it's very thematic. Every theme park you go has its own segment, like the jungle for Tarzan, and you actually get to hear the music playing throughout the time when you're in that specific park.
So do you have to wear like
do I have to take off my shirt?
Yeah.
I wanted to, but let's just behave the way of how
like
we
how
are.
Tarzan
Swinging in trees.
Yeah.
You use that one hand trick where have you guys seen like the one hand trick where you can just use one hand and then you just remove your whole clothes? There's actually I actually saw a video of a porn star in 9gag, and she was like demonstrating how you can use your hand to just remove your clothes, and then the video is like very short and it's like super pointless.
Okay.
But it's just amazing. You see like here's how you remove like your shirt regularly.
Right.
And here's how you remove with one hand. Ta-da!
And it's fully only from Japanese. Like the Japanese get to do this kind of really quick.
No, John Cena does that. But you can't see him.
Yeah, I can't see it. I have
you
not
don't even
seen
know
that
if he's dressed or not.
Yeah, I mean it's good to have thematic theme park. It's you get the feels, like if there's gonna be a Pokemon theme park, I'm gonna be in it,
So what assets are from Nintendo? I mean, it's Pokemon is from Nintendo.
Yeah, it's sort of they co-produce together right now. So they're like quite
are
the
they like
thing.
the originator? Like, are they the ones that funds the thing? Do they own the whole
Yeah,
thing?
they do.
Oh, they do.
They do. I would say 50-50. It's sort of like they bought the company called Game Freak, who actually created Pokemon from the start. So it's sort of like
a gaming company created. It wasn't like a storyline kind of stuff that they started. Like it wasn't like some kind of cartoon that just
yeah,
rolled out. It's
I
not as a game.
I
It
don't
started
think
as a
it's
game.
like I don't think it's like Digimon where
Yeah, it started from anime.
started-
Yeah, Pokemon started from
Yeah.
game, a very get go from Game Freak. I mean, the founder himself, all he wanted to do was to have this game whereby you can collect Pokemon because he loved collecting bugs. I mean, he loved collecting bugs when he was young, and he thought that that could be translated to game, and that's what you see today. Pokemon is about catching
it's
Pokemon
about,
and
it's
keeping
about animal slavery.
fighting each other and keeping them in the ball.
Fight for my right.
That's quite interesting. I mean, like, wouldn't Digimon guy, the guy who made Digimon, it's a very similar kind of topic where
Right.
Digimon and Pokemon, you got things that you have to catch. Like, do you guys know what's the story of Digimon? I don't.
I don't too.
actually. I mean, I guess we all love the first Digimon,
Yeah.
but they just don't carry the same way of how Pokemon
Yeah,
does.
yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I never liked Pokemon, so yeah. It's just when it came out, it was just too childish for me. It was too cute, and the whole thing about like Team Rocket, it's like if you watch like Fine
Ooh,
Brothers,
Team Rocket.
if you watch like Fine Brothers, where they get kids to react like Power Rangers,
Right.
and then they start to show the motion, and they are doing the same thing. If you guys remember the first
Oh.
version of Mighty Morphin's Power Rangers,
Yeah.
it's the same thing. Like
It's cringy now. That's it.
it's very cringy. It's like
Yep.
every single episode you have like the lady, she's trying to send some the monsters, and then when the monsters doesn't work, it's like they turn big.
Yeah,
and then,
yeah.
and then it's morphin time. So to me, Pokemon is sort of like the same thing with the Team Rocket, and then the whole
Yep.
catchphrase. I never liked that. I
Yeah.
always felt that Digimon have a much richer storyline to that.
Right. I mean, that comes from watching the cartoon or anime, right?
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course, of course.
Yeah.
So we have like Pokemons and what other
Mario.
things are from Mario?
I think Donkey Kong is
Yeah,
also
you got Donkey Kong.
Is,
Part of-
is Sonic from Nintendo? as
Sonic is
well?
from Sega.
Yeah,
Oh.
Sonic's from Sega.
Yeah, it's a different
Yeah.
distributor.
But I guess they have to build a theme park because the president himself is already promoting in the previous Olympic, the closing of the Olympic. He was actually wearing a Mario cap,
Oh, yeah,
So it's actually a
yeah.
drive to say, hey, it's leading to our country's 2020's Olympic.
And I also saw like there's ambassadors for Olympics. They chose like what Doraemon, Goku, Luffy. There's like some kind of character ambassadors for it.
I'm not so sure about
sure
that.
about that.
Yeah, but wouldn't be a surprise because these are like their well-known country mascot. Like people would
Yeah,
know that by
Actually,
now.
it is a mascot. And going back to the theme park, like one of the gimmick that actually captures me when you say Nintendo, it's the Mario Kart.
Mario Kart.
Because you get to play a real life
Oh
Mario
yeah,
Kart.
yeah.
Maybe throw rocks at other drivers or whatever.
Use superpowers.
Yeah, but that's the thing that captured me because there's been this
Yeah.
video viral from
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman recently when he
Uh-huh.
went to Japan.
Yeah, I saw that too.
He was like in
He was
the
like
car.
freaking out,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, he was freaking out because in traffic at the side, there's actually people dressed like Nintendo characters
yeah.
driving the carts around. So.
Yeah.
I want to do that, I want to do that,
Yeah.
and I'm sure they will do this in the
I
theme
think
park.
I think that thing has been going on for quite some time where people are just dressing up and then they start go-karting in the
Tokyo.
road. Yeah, in Tokyo.
Yeah, yeah.
It's in Tokyo. And I think the company is like not so happy with that. Like the
Yeah.
company own the rights.
Yeah, apparently this company who's running the cart got sued by Nintendo formally.
Oh really?
Yeah, just a month ago, Nintendo actually issued a court letter to them.
But they're not. Are they making money? Like what can they sue? It's just people cosplaying and then just riding their go-karts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of funny, isn't it?
I think it's disrupting the public. You're driving go-karts on traffic, live traffic. It disrupts the flow of traffic and all that. And Japanese with their systems and not breaking the rules kind of thing. It kind of create a bad image for the characters.
Yeah,
because
perhaps.
you're wearing that character's costume, you sort of represent them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
And the thing about Nintendo is they are very protective of their IP actually. If anyhow you breach the usage of their characters, not just in this sort of card form, even if you were to create a product, you will get sued by Nintendo. They are very protective.
So if we create a content similar to Nintendo. Have you ever touched that areas before?
No, I don't think so.
Should we?
Should we go put a
Should
cap
we?
on Anakin or Akira?
Should we like risk our lives a little bit? Get sued for dimes that we don't have.
Yeah, and the thing about if when you were to revert M into W, you still get sued because there's a character called Wario. Which is the alter ego of Mario.
Yeah. Wario.
So you get sued no matter how you do it,
It's a shame that Sonic is not part of Nintendo, because imagine the guy who is like infringing the character, and he's in a courthouse, and he's standing in a bar. I do not know what the terms call. I do not know if Japanese runs the same way of legal system. That's how the Western are. That's standing over there, and then the jury all stands up and say, we find the guy who infringed on the Sonic character to be guilty. And then you know how he's gonna compensate?
How?
He's just gonna and then all the rings just pops up.
Oh god, that incident.
Yeah, that's interesting. But I'll be looking forward to the time when they finish the
theme park in Universal Japan.
But I'll probably go there like 5 years later, because if they're building it in time for the Olympics, I mean, Japan is already like overly populated, and if you put in like really a lot of foreigners inside, you're just gonna spend one whole day just to line up for.
That's true.
Yeah.
Unless you pay extra for premium.
The queue cutting
premium
ticket.
Premium packages or whatever.
Yeah.
That costs a bomb. Yeah.
It costs a bomb.
Let's just wait, 5 years after that. And
so probably 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 5 years later.
Right then. Well, interesting stuff. Japan always make interesting stuff. And another thing happened in Japan today. What I found out is actually it's for men this time. So you guys know that summer is here. It's hot. People want to wear like less
thinner clothing.
Clothing, correct?
Shorter pants.
So they introduced this one product which is called No Points.
No points.
No Points. And it's actually a bra for men.
Huh.
So women has been fighting for no bra days.
So men need support now.
But now it's for men. It's the opposite. We want bras. In Japan, they want bras because summer is here. It's very hot. They wear formal. They don't wear anything underneath anymore. So the points appear.
Wait, hang on. We're talking about guys' nipples. Are we talking about guys' nipples?
Nipples, correct.
That they get conscious because it's hot, and
start to show
they
review.
don't want those things poking out.
My God, what's wrong? What's wrong with that?
Yeah, what's wrong?
Yeah.
I don't know, but this is the fad nowadays. They even come up with this thing. It's a V-neck, but they come up with an armpit pad, so that you don't get sweaty as well.
Right.
So you always look clean.
Well, maybe you should do a Shorties about that.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Maybe it's also polite for them to actually wear these things and not.
It's polite to not show your.
Not show your nipples, not to appear unclean.
Hey, you stop showing off.
Yeah. And that's happens to be like our topic for today also, the politeness and mannerism in Japan. So as we all know, in our shorties, we like to play around with Japanese culture. So their politeness, their mannerisms, and all that. And actually, one of our shorties inspired us for this podcast today.
Yeah.
It's shorties number 29. That awkward moment when things happen.
Yeah, it's a common problem actually.
Yeah, and in that comic, we actually see Anakin trying to give a handshake to Akira.
Yep.
And Akira just bow down to him instead of shaking his hand, and he just left.
What would you do in that situation if you were to be, you offer a handshake and somebody bows and walks away? What would you do?
It's pretty awkward. I would just first shove my hand back and bow the same way as how they do. It's like just.
I actually came across this situation. I was working with a Japanese restaurant manager, So he was like looking into some stuff, and we somehow is working with them on some particular projects. And the thing is that then they had their opening, and they invited us.
Right.
So we ate and stuff like that. We didn't eat with him, so he was like working around and stuff like that. But by the time where everyone is supposed to leave, coincidentally, funny thing, everyone was leaving. So I'm sort of like not used to that. It's sort of like used to the pace that once you're done eating, then you move. But when you see other people started to stand up and walk, it's like, oh shit, I gotta walk too. Yeah. And then upon exiting, and he's there, to properly usher people out. He's like, it's like, arigatou gozaimashita, and he starts to bow, and I'm so not used to that. So
your body don't know how to react. What should I do?
No, I mean instantly I just had out about my hand, and then it was so complex because he was already bowing down and my hand is out, and I was like turning into bowing
with your handshake out.
with my handshake, and he was bowing and he was putting my handshake, and it was like oh man,
okay,
this is not good.
This is just awkward.
This is not good at all.
Yeah, bowing in Japan.
It reminds me of like a situation where you play this situation in your mind, like you buy something, then that person will say thank you, and you'll say welcome, like you're welcome. But then you start to play that scenario even before these things happen. You start to play that scenario in your mind, like he's gonna say thank you and I'm gonna say welcome. But when the event actually happened, you're like thank welcome. So you're like handing out your arm and like bowing at the same time. It shows the same situation over there.
I read that bowing is kind of complex in Japan because there's like three main types. There's the informal, formal, and very formal.
Right.
And that's just like really complicated because not only in bowing but in language itself there is a plain form, and then there's a polite form, and then there's an honorific form. So I learned that if you want to bow like really informally, it takes a certain degree. Okay, can you guys guess like how much of degrees you have to bend in order to get an informal bow?
Okay, what I realized when we spend our time over there is their informal bow will be just like the head tilting, that type, and that's why I realized they're informal. I don't know to what degree the head needs to tilt.
It's 30 degrees.
Wow, I thought it's 15 degrees. You don't have to tilt that much.
That's called rude bowing.
Impolite
bowing.
No wonder no one was looking at you. No one was giving you service.
Wait, hold on. If 30 degrees is the informal way of bowing, then what would be the most formal way of bowing?
Well, the most formal way is that okay, picture this. Like alien just came out, and you guys know how alien comes out from somebody's body. It just shoots out from
wherever that mouth.
Picture this. If you want to get like a super polite bow, you just have to imagine that you're trying to stop the alien from coming out of your guts.
Right.
So that's how polite it is. You have to bend all the way down.
More like somebody kicking you in the nuts.
That's a perfect example, man.
Perfect example.
That's mannerism, huh?
That is very a polite thing to do. Like when they give this bow and then somebody receives it, it's usually followed by like, for example, if you're inferior. So I learned, if you're inferior and you're supposed to bow more, and then if the superior is bowing longer than you, you have to maintain the bow. And then if somehow the other person is very polite despite being superior, he'll bow again. So it kind of goes into this gradual motion of like reducing the bows until it stops.
Right. So I guess the higher ups one would determine the stop. Like if he stopped doing that, the other guy's like, okay, I can stop right now.
So meaning if you're the junior, let's say, you must have the last bow.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
I think in Kyoto, when we were at this fire ramen place, I'm sure you guys remember this guy.
I remember that moment very well.
Yeah, this salaryman, he was sending off this couple out from the shop, and he actually accompanied them to a certain point, which is close to where we were queuing up. And while they were walking away, he was saying arigato, and he was bowing non-stop. And when they were far, maybe about 200 meters. 200 to 200 meters plus, and he was still in his bow
Yeah.
position.
Yeah.
Despite no one is looking.
Yeah,
Like
no.
why?
Yeah.
That's the amount of respect they have for like providing
Yeah, and you
service.
can tell he was really very grateful just by
Yeah.
doing that.
I think that's one of the thing about them. Like they're not. Sometimes there's a lot of articles and there's a lot of videos that say sometimes they do have that fake politeness. But when you're doing it while no one is looking, I don't think there's anything fake
that's
about it.
very genuine.
That's very genuine.
Yeah.
That's very
It is.
genuine.
But
But
that's how I see it that time.
yeah, but besides all this, formal and informal, very polite, whatever you want to call it, there's actually another type of bowing.
Oh, what
It's called phantom bowing.